Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, so you shared this material on a really unique project, the Heart to Father's Bible version, the H2F by Dallas James.
Yeah.
And it needs a deep dive because, well, it seems James didn't just translate. He kind of rebuilt the whole thing from the ground up.
Oh, absolutely. It's a complete reimagining, structurally, textually, the works.
How so?
Well, think about most modern English Old Testaments. They mainly use the Masoretic Text, the MT, right?
Standard source, yeah.
The H2F just bypasses it, totally ignores it. Instead, James goes back to the Greek Septuagint, the LXX.
The Septuagint, okay.
And specifically, he filters it through an older translation, Charles Thomson's, from 1808.
Wow, okay, that is a departure. So what does that actually do for the reader right away? What's the immediate effect of picking the LXX?
Well, it creates this instant sense of continuity between the Old and New Testaments. Okay, a key example is Canon, the patriarch Canon in Genesis 11.
Right, who isn't in the standard MT?
Exactly. But he is in the Septuagint. And crucially, Luke includes him in his genealogy of Jesus. So, boom, the H2F source text choice makes those two align perfectly.
Ah, I see. So the textual choice itself starts laying down a theological track. But you mentioned structure. The really radical bit seems to be rearranging the whole order of the books. What's the idea there?
Yeah, that's the core of it. The entire point is to force this single linear narrative structure onto the whole Bible. He calls it the order of dominion.
The order of dominion.
Right. And it basically turns the Bible from, a library of different kinds of books into one single plot, all focused on divine authority and, well, human failure to uphold it.
Okay, so if the order dictates the plot, how does he control the interpretation within the text? We saw notes about him changing specific words, like a lexical overhaul.
That's right. It's like a theological overlay through word choice. Very deliberate. It reflects that Hebrew roots perspective you mentioned.
Give me an example.
Okay, so instead of just God, you consistently see Elohim. That choice emphasizes the plural aspect, right, from Genesis 1. And Jesus.
Jesus becomes Joshua. Always. The idea is to reveal the name across both testaments, linking the Messiah back to the Old Testament leader, unifying that concept.
Joshua. Interesting. And Christ.
Systematically changed to Messiah. It pulls the title away from the Greek understanding and plants it firmly back into its Hebrew prophetic soil.
So it's constantly reinforcing that Hebrew connection.
Definitely. Even Genesis 1.1 is tweaked in a beginning, not in the beginning.
Why?
To make a distinction, it seems, from John 1.1. The suggestion is John's talking about a revealed order, maybe. Not just the absolute start of time. Every little choice serves that big dominion theme.
All right, now the really controversial move. Adding a book, that's a big step.
It is. Canonical expansion. He adds the book of Enoch.
Enoch, okay. And where does it go?
Strategically placed right after the book of Daniel. The justification is an appeal to early Christian traditions that apparently valued it.
So, putting Enoch there, after Daniel, what does that achieve in his structure? How does that change the reading experience? It acts like this. Crucial apocalyptic bridge. It provides the cosmic backstory, fallen angels, giants, the coming judgment that James clearly thinks is essential context for the New Testament.
Context for things in Jude and Peter, perhaps.
Exactly. Jude, 2 Peter. It illuminates those passages. It basically frames the whole dominion struggle within this grand cosmic conflict.
Okay, let's talk about the architecture itself, this order of dominion. How does it lay out the Bible across its 6 parts?
It forces genre to submit to the theme. So Division 1 is called The Mandate and Failure of Dominion.
And that includes?
All the historical books. Genesis right through to Nehemiah. They're not separate histories. They become one long story. A continuous saga showing how dominion was given and then corrupted. Systemically, it establishes the core problem.
And right after that history of failure, what comes next?
Division 2. The Poetics of Life under Contested Dominion. And that's where you find the wisdom literature. Job, Ecclesiastes.
Ah, so they're not just standalone poems or reflections anymore.
Not in this order. They're presented as the direct result. The cries and philosophical conclusions of people living in the mess created by that failure of dominion narrated just before. That's why Ecclesiastes saying all is vanity hits differently here. It feels earned by the preceding history.
I see. Okay, let's jump ahead. Division 4th, the Gospels.
That's framed as the incarnation of perfect dominion. The arrival of Joshua Jesus is positioned as the direct answer, the fulfillment needed after all that failure and prophetic hope.
And the end. Revelation.
Division 6, the consummation of universal dominion. Revelation becomes the final act, resolving the cosmic conflict that started way back in Genesis 1. It all circles back to dominion.
So let's synthesize this. What's the takeaway for you, the listener?
Well, look, the H2F is actually pretty successful at creating a story, a single, unified narrative. It can make the Bible feel very coherent, maybe especially for new readers.
But there's a cost.
There's a potential cost. Critics would say that achieving that clarity comes by forcing everything through one single lens dominion. And that might flatten the incredible diversity of the Bible. You risk losing focus on other huge themes like, say, covenant or grace or reconciliation.
So our final assessment, it's probably not aiming to replace your standard NIV or ESV.
No, definitely not. It's best seen as a highly specialized thematic study Bible, really valuable for provoking new thoughts, digging into that Hebrew roots angle, but it's a specific tool for a specific purpose.
Which leaves us with a final thought for you to chew on.
Yeah, think about this. When a translator doesn't just translate words, but rearranges the whole canonical order and even adds books, well, at what point does that stop being translation or commentary?
And start becoming the creation of a new canonical document itself. Something interpretive, something
Yeah,
else.
exactly. Where's that line? Definitely something to consider.